Hello, 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 dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S DREAMS. Pisces Aries Cusp. This is your general reading. And again, guys, take whatever resonates and please leave the rest. Um, Coming back full circle is what I'm hearing. Um, this almost feels like a restarting, or like a starting line for something, or starting place for something, where you're you're getting back up after falling. You're getting back up. You're going back after this, or you're going after this again. And some of you are wondering, like, will you see it through this time around? That's what I'm picking up. um the only thing that I can tell you in regards to that is, like, if you talk to any successful person out there, they failed and tried and failed, however you want to word it, multiple times before they got it right. But the beautiful thing is, within that space, is that when you do that, when you're restarting, you're not starting from the ground, right? You're not starting from the first step. You're starting from where you left off. And for some reason, this whole space of, like, the show like Grey's Anatomy came to mind, where, the surge, they're interns or whatever. They went through medical school, they went through everything, but now they need to practice, right? And within those practices, they are going to fail, but that is how they become actual surgeons, right? So it's kind of like that energy of, like, reminding you, like, stop looking at these quote unquote, like, failed attempts, as like you're not good enough, or as like this is not for you, whatever it is. Instead of look at what it is in those times that things didn't plan out the way that you wanted to, right? Look into those spaces and see what could have been different, what could you have tweaked, what could you have changed, what could you have done different in that moment, or in those spaces, that would have given you the outcome that you wanted, right? Now, whether this is career, whether this is relationship, it really is irrelevant. We're talking here about, like, a collective energy that I'm picking up for you guys, because a lot of people are like, oh, but what is this? It like, it's a collective energy. So it's like, if it was in a relationship, right? Let's say there was a relationship that ended, and you're just like, whoa, like, I just keep getting into these relationships and it keeps failing. Like, I haven't found the one, right? It's what we tell ourselves. Well, let's look at those relationships. Were there red flags coming from the other person that you didn't notice, that you chose to look over because you wanted it to work? Now let's take it a step further. How were you showing up in those relationships? How were you showing up in those connections? Because again, it is very easy for us to be like, oh, they did this, they did that, but how were you showing up? Because, like, when people tell me, like, oh, why are why did so and so, like, you and so break up, or this or that, I, regardless, like, whether this was in high school, whether this was like when I was in my 20s, whatever, I'll be like, oh yeah, they did this, and they will look at me like, oh yeah, you should have, and then I'll be like, but I did A B C D E F. You know what I mean? Like, I am very one, like, yeah, I will point someone's flaws out and be like, yeah, they did this, they did me wrong in this way, that way. But if I'm honest with you, I did these things that didn't help or may have contributed to some of these things, right? So, like, learning to take accountabilities for our actions in whatever space it is, right? Because again, we like to see ourselves as the, like, the angel, and like an angel and like a devil and angel scenario, right? Like, well, we're the angel, they're like the little devil. No, it doesn't always work that way, right? It takes two people to make a relationship work, so it takes two people for a relationship to fail. So the thing here is, like, okay, how do we apply this then when it comes to, like, a business, or when it comes to, like, a career or a hobby or whatever it is? Well, are you preparing yourself for what it is that you're trying to do? Like, if you want to go ahead and you want to start, like, okay, let's put it very simple. You want to run a marathon. Yeah, there have been people that just wake up one day like, oh, I want to run a marathon and train within whatever, and they run it, but there's consequences that come after that, right? They end up injuring themselves, or they end up with like, because like, running a marathon takes a lot of freaking training. I know I have a very close friends who runs them like they're freaking walks in the park, right? He travels to run them, but this guy dedicates like his time, his energy, everything to training. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if you were going to run a marathon, you need to start training. Probably I would even advise like a year, right? Because like, if you're not used to like walking, or you're not used to jogging or anything, you need to start with like, okay, being able to walk for a certain amount of time, being able to jog for a certain amount of time, being able to do intervals, doing hills, doing all of these things. So it's like, you're not just gonna wake up and magically be able to do something, right? It doesn't happen with most things, right? So that's kind of like what you have to, the way that you have to look at it, whatever this is for you. If you if you started something and you kind of gave up on it because it didn't pan out the way you wanted, or because you didn't see the success you were expecting right away, maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. Maybe it's time to make some adjustment. Maybe it's time to make some tweaks. For those of you that this has to do with relationships and stuff like that, to be honest with you, right now is not the time. Right now is the time for you to do a little bit of inner work. And I say a little bit of inner work because it's like there's something here that is not clicking when it comes to what it is that you're asking, that you want in relationships, and the way that you are showing up in relationships. And again, you can get upset, you can get mad, or whatever it is, but this is the way that the energy is coming up, right? A lot of us always want to say, oh, I want to find love, I want to find love, I want to find love. But sweetie, are you giving yourself love? Because if you're not giving yourself love, love has no idea where it is that you live, because it doesn't live within you, right? It's not something that you're giving to yourself. It's not something. So these are the little these are the little things that some of you may have to look into, um before adjusting, or before going back or getting started on something again, that is coming back full circle for you to go ahead and have another chance at this. And second chances are amazing. Third chances, fourth chances, other chances are amazing when it comes to things. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card to close your reading. Because it's very straightforward. Like, there is here a huge opportunity to start something again, to really see it through, to really be successful in it. The only question is, are you going to take it? All right, give me one card, Spirit. Adjustments are required. All right, the third quarter moon. Adjustments are required. Why aren't we just talking about adjustments? I think so. Where are you though? These are new. Those are not it, so it has to be in the front page. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. I'm like, I know I'm reading that right. I can't find it. New moon, new moon, new moon. All right, third quarter moon, page 36. Um, okay, give me 1 second, guys. I know it's annoying. Um, think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there is also a lot of negativity, and you need to let go of this. Whatever situation you are asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions involved, which you need to release into the ethers. This card also comes with the promise that all is not lost. However, there are challenges or adjustments required before you get to where you want to be. A change of course is forecast now that the recent events have been understood and acted upon. So let's, during this time, evaluate why something didn't work out. Be brutally honest with yourself, what you can do differently or how you can do things differently. And give yourself the beautiful chance of going after this one more time, but coming from a completely different perspective, because now you have the clarity, the knowledge to go forth with this. Well, guys, that is all that I have for you at this moment in time. As always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.